Welcome to FNF Victory Road Draft League Season 2 team analysis. In this series, I will be analyzing the teams that participated in the second season of the Victory Road Draft League, either via call on Discord or DM through Discord. This time, I do have a call, and it's going to be with StarToad from Detroit Deinos. So thank you for joining me, StarToad. We got a lot to cover because actually you did the most battles in the whole league. So going to be a fun one. And before we go in, let's talk about why you chose the name Detroit Deinos and your logo as well. So first, why did you choose the names?
Hi guys. So last season I was the Detroit Dunsparces, because I like Dunsparce and I also live near Detroit and I like alliteration, so that was a pretty natural fit. So I was going, it was sort of like a last minute thing. So Hydreigon is like one of my favorite, it's my favorite pseudo legendary, and so I wanted to do something with that, and this is what I came up with. You know, we still have the alliteration, Detroit Deinos, I don't know. You know, he's got some his shades and you know, smoking a joint. It's funny.
Like Dunsparce, Dino also smokes. Did Dunsparce ever stop, or did he? Is that why he left your team last season? I forgot what the lore was. Was it because he wanted to go smoke some more? He opened a vape shop.
Yeah.
All
I also
above.
smell.
You also what?
I couldn't stand the smell.
Oh, that makes sense, because, yeah, wherever Dunsparce went, that smell followed, so... Is that why... that must be why... We'll go over it later, but that must be why Hydreigon also left, because the smell was just getting too unbearable. That's what happens when all your logo Pokemon are stoners. So, very 10 out of 10 logo. It was very reminiscent of your logo last season, so I thought it was pretty funny. So yeah, well, also let it be known that I still don't know how to pronounce it. I think it's Deinos. I think, I don't know.
Okay, here's my insight here. So the trio is like, they have the German, like, numbers, like, Ein is 1, so I think it's Dinos, but I'm not sure, because Hydreigon, Dry is 3 in German, and Y is 2 in German, I don't know.
So maybe it is Dinos after all, then.
Yeah.
I was pronouncing it Dinos the whole season, and then at the end, I was like, wait, is it actually Dinos? And I started saying Dinos, so I guess I was right in the first place, and then I changed to being wrong. I don't know. But regardless, we could have a whole conversation on Pokemon pronunciation, because I think you have, like, the pronunciation book, and it has, like, a bunch of weird pronunciations in it.
Like Ferrothorn.
Yeah. It doesn't make sense, because Pharaoh, Iron, anyways. Okay, let's go into the initial team. But before we do that, actually, you have this mural here, this beautiful collage of your initial team, in a very prestigious and fancy part of town, I presume.
You'd be correct. I don't know, I'd probably just search on, like, Google rundown city. I don't know if this is actually Detroit or not. It wouldn't surprise me if it was. So
this is where all the cool kids of Detroit hang out, actually.
Yeah.
As you can see. Alright, so we're going to go into that initial team. What were some of your thoughts in drafting this team? What were you going for? And how were you feeling during the draft? Like, were things going your way, or were you getting sniped?
So last season I had Galvantula, and Galvantula is one of the best sticky web users, but my team wasn't really set up that way. I just liked Galvantula, and it still did well, so, you know. But this time I actually wanted to, like, draft a team that actually, like, utilized Sticky Web to the fullest. So, I got some really heavy hitters, like Mega Gardevoir, and Mamoswine, and Hydreigon, and it's a lot of heavy hitters. And then Araquanid to set up Sticky Webs. I got Araquanid just for webs, but it turned out to be very useful because of Liquidation and Water Bubble, which is very strong. I wanted like an actual fast mon, so I got Crobat, and Crobat's typing works really well because my team was kind of weak to fighting. Magneton could like trap the steals that gave Mega Gardevoir trouble. Mismagius was also a good type. Like, it had a good typing, immune to fighting and ground, and it had a good special attack stat, especially when you boost it with Nasty Plot. I don't know why I drafted Claydol. I never used it. Screw that mon, I hate it. So the Blade, I originally wanted Fortress, but that would probably not have worked as well. So the Blade was like a godsend for my team. It's so bulky, and it can take just so many hits. It can even take like knockoffs and still be like unfazed. It's crazy. And then lastly, Pangoro. I think I originally wanted Hariyama, but that was taken. So Pangoro would have to do. It did me well. I didn't use it very well, and I didn't use it very much in the regular season, but it did kind of good in playoffs later on. And then Samurott, I just like Samurott a lot. Pretty good in draft because it can like go special, physical, mixed. It can do a lot, and it has a pretty good move pool. It's just not very fast, but Sticky Web can kind of help with that. So yeah, that's my team.
Was Hariyama the only Pokemon that was sniped from you, or did you have other plans that were also sniped?
Yeah, it was only Hariyama and Fortress, I guess. But Fortress would not have worked well, I feel.
Yeah, that one kind of worked out in your favor, because it was actually a good thing it was sniped if you were going to get Fortress, because I think you definitely got the better pick in Double-Aid. So, yeah. Overall, I think then that was a pretty good draft for you. And, yeah, your team was very hard-hitting. Like, I could say from experience, it's if you're not careful, it hits extremely hard. And even if you are careful. So, pretty cool team to see. And we'll jump into your battle record and take a look at how you did first in the regular season. So, overall, you got rank 2, that's including the playoffs, and then in the regular season, your score was 5-5. And first, just considering the regular season, how do you think you did in the regular season?
I did okay. I did really well at the beginning. Noob Scrub was a tough hurdle, but after that, I got some momentum. And then I lost to you and Ember, and then I took a hit. Yeah, I don't know. I think I just felt like really demotivated after I lost to Ember, and then with Benji I got that didn't help. So, but I made some exchanges, and then I went on the uptick again.
Yeah, that was like kind of I think those exchanges really helped you like get a new breath of fresh air in your team, and especially like playoffs coming up. I think you were like, okay, I need to get in. Let me really go for this at the end, and you managed to get in. So, how did you think you did in the playoffs?
Playoffs? Man, I did really good in the playoffs.
Yeah, like, you did.
came from you, but I got knocked out, but that was fine. I mean, that's enough. So, and the other 2 games were pretty close too, so I'm not even that mad. And then I went on a crazy losers run. I probably could have played some matches better, but we'll get there when we get there. Yeah, I did pretty well.
Yeah, I think you definitely wowed a lot of people with how well you did in playoffs, especially considering, like I had mentioned to you earlier, you came in at seed 8, the lowest seed of playoffs, on a tiebreaker, and you lost the first round of playoffs, and then you managed to just wipe through a ton of the strongest players in the league, some of which you had previously lost to, I think. Yeah, so that must have been really, really exhilarating, especially since in losers bracket, like, losing a set means you're out. So the whole time, like, the threat of just being eliminated was on you, and you kept winning. So that was pretty cool to witness. Before we go on to the individual battles, was there any matchup you were particularly excited to do, and was there any matchup that you were dreading because you were really scared of it?
I was excited to fight pretty much everybody, really. I really like team building. Believe it or not, I think my team is not... Team building became a chore later on, but overall I still liked it. I think the team I was most scared of facing was Emberhoof. His team is kinda scary. Well, it's really scary actually. So, yeah, I felt like I did the best I kinda could there.
Yeah, I was surprised. Well, I'll save it for when we get there, but I was surprised how some of his Pokemon that were unexpected were really good matchups versus yours. But yeah, we'll go into the individual matches and examine each one individually. So overall, pretty good though, especially with the playoffs, and we'll take a look at the regular season first. So first was versus Noob Scrub's team, patch 3.0 Ivysaurs, and this was the absolutely first battle of the league for both of you. So what were you thinking going into this one, and what was your game plan?
My game plan was to just hit him real hard. I had Magneton to trap Celesteela. I was Specs, so I think I could always kill with Thunderbolt. Crobat could also stall break really effectively with Taunt and Super Fang, and then the rest of the team was just hard hitters. But in retrospect, I probably should have packed a lot more for Blissey. Yeah, because the only thing I had for it was like Mamoswine, and it went down early because I like let it die to have Hippowdon, and that was sad. So I couldn't really break through Blissey after that, and Quagsire also. I also didn't really have much for Quagsire. I had like HP Grass on Magneton, I think, but it wasn't enough.
You did, like at the end, you were putting up quite a fight versus Blissey and Quagsire. Like at that moment, I was like, oh man, the battle's pretty much finished. But you were really persistent, and I think that you made it closer than it could have been, or would have been, versus maybe a different person. Yeah, I remember watching this, and once Mamo went down, and I think Crobat had already gone down, which were like the two that needed to counter Blissey, I was like, oh god, Blissey is gonna be really tough for him to face. But after this, you actually face Noob Scrub again in playoffs, and I will be interested to hear how you changed your team accordingly based on this battle. But yeah, so this first battle was -2 for you, but going into the next battle versus Night Wishy-Washy, You ended up winning this one. And how did this battle go for you? Like, what happened in this battle?
Heat Train happened, so I led Heat Train, it was on a balloon, but he led Ditto, but I was on a balloon, so he couldn't touch me with much. So that was really good for me. And then Mamoswine came in and like cleaned up everything. And then Heat Train also cleaned up. Going into this match, I was really scared of like Scolipede. Scolipede was really, really scary. I think I had Crobat, I had like Scarf Crobat for it. So it could go through Substitute, and I could beat it at +1.
Oh yeah, because of Infiltrator.
Yeah, I was also pretty scared of Scizor, but with the Blade, it couldn't do too much besides knocking it off. So I felt like I played this pretty well.
Yeah, this was definitely a demonstration of the power of Heatran and Mamoswine. When I saw that Fingered Witch had led Ditto, and I'm guessing Ditto was Choice Scarfed, so the fact that Heatran was on a balloon was really unfortunate for them, because that was probably like the worst lead they could have faced with Ditto.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that was a smart choice. Heatran on a balloon is just terrifying. So yeah, this was a good win for you, and you moved into the next battle with some momentum versus Edgar Moondrinkers. And how did you approach this battle?
So yeah, I was pretty scared of Edgar. This was when he still had Reuniclus, and Reuniclus was still on like a high from when he faced Quest. So
oh yeah.
yeah. Mamoswine does really, really well versus this team, and Braviary does really well versus my team. So there is a dynamic there. I think I had to like win a speed tie with Braviary because I had Jolly Mamoswine, so I had to win the speed tie, and I did, thankfully. Because the only thing that could really take Braviary was the Blade. And even then, I think it had like bulk up or something, so it could win eventually. Cofagrigus and Tentacruel were also problems. Hydreigon used Draco Meteor on Tentacruel, and it lived with like 30% left, and then it struck back with Dazzling Gleam. I didn't know it got Dazzling Gleam, so the more you know.
I think, if I remember correctly, I think Edgar... No, it wasn't Scarf, because then it used Sludge Wave. Tentacruel is just that much of a specially defensive mon, but I think he put some investment into it or something, because I remember him mentioning that he specifically made that Tentacruel to counter Hydreigon, so...
Yeah.
But once Tentacruel went down, Mamo was pretty comfortable in this matchup, and it also managed to take Garchomp out with an Ice Shard, which was kind of surprising to me. Like, not surprising, but also surprising just because it's like, it's such a weak move, but it is 4 times effective, and Mamo's so strong, so I guess it's not that surprising, but still.
Yeah. I think at the end, Pangoro, like, cleaned up because Reuniclus might not have had, like... I think it only had Psychic or something, so it couldn't really touch Pangoro, and I had Swords Dance to counter the Acid Armor.
Yeah, I was wondering why he stayed in an Acid Armored. I guess he was just accepting his fate, or he was trying to psych you out, so you would switch, but... Yeah, I don't think there was much Reuniclus could have done versus Pangoro unless it had Focus Blast, which I don't think it did. So, in general, Pangoro seemed pretty good for you in this matchup, as we'll see later on, too. So the next battle was versus Z-Quigs, I Like Corsola, and there's PowerPoint correcting the like and I Like Corsola to the correct spelling when it should not be that, but... So, this one was another good performance for Mamoswine. What was your plan when you built here?
I don't know. I think I was definitely planning for Gothito to show up, I think. So, it didn't, but I brought Mismagius here to, like, try and take that down, and because it wasn't affected by Shadow Tag, I thought it could do well. Yeah, Mamoswine did really well here. His team is kind of weak to Ice, so that helps a lot. It was also like my only counter to Muckalola, so that was good. I also was expecting Rotom Heat to show up. That probably could have done well, but it didn't. So, thank goodness for that one.
Yeah, I'm surprised it didn't, because it could have taken on Mamo and Magneton, and also Heatran actually. So, I'm pretty surprised it didn't come. I think due to the lack of Rotom Heat, and once I forgot who went down, maybe it was Whimsicott or Gyarados, Mamoswine just had an easy time sweeping, just in general.
Yeah.
I think at this point Mamoswine was also pretty up there on the MVP race too.
Yeah, it had like 8 kills at this point or something. It was maybe more than that. I don't know. It was a lot.
Yeah, it ended up with like, I think 14 or something, crazy amount. But yeah, definitely one of your scary Pokemon, especially for me, and we'll segue actually into the battle versus me. This is versus Sun and Friendly, and what was your game plan in this battle?
I don't know. So my plan was like to target the fire types and take advantage of the sun. I had like Flamethrower on Hydreigon, and like I had like Power Gem on Mismagius, so I could like take down Torkoal or something. I don't know. Crobat does pretty well versus Sun because of its typing. 4 times resistant to grass is cool. Heatran also does really well because of Flash Fire.
Yeah.
And Araquanid because of Water Bubble, so yeah. But what I was not accounting for was Machamp. Machamp screwed my team over because my team is kind of weak to fighting.
Yeah.
Especially at this point, so yeah, that did not do well.
I think Machamp, like, there was so much switching happening, but Machamp was just hitting everything that came in really hard. And I think pre-exchanges, your team, like you said, struggled with fighting types, especially bulky fighting types. So I think the exchanges you made later on helped with that a lot. But yeah, Crobat was definitely the most problematic Pokemon for me. And I remember, I think I was like fishing for the kill with Shiftry, which this chart is wrong. I think I copied it down wrong or something, but Shiftry only got 1 kill in this battle, not 2. I think in the dock.
Kills, not 6. Okay.
Yeah, I'm like, this is not correct. I think I fixed it on the dock, or I think it was right on the dock, and then maybe I copied it wrong. Let me see. Yeah, it's right on the dock. Shiftry got 1 kill on the dock, not 2, so I copied it wrong, but I was hardcore fishing for the kill with Shiftry because I was like, no, I wanted Shiftry to get a kill. But Crobat was really tough for Shiftry to handle, and yeah, Crobat was definitely your best Pokemon in this one. And this is another matchup that you'll face again, so we'll be able to see what your mindset was in the rematch as well.
Yeah, one more thing. I think there was like a time where I had Mamoswine out against Rotom Fan, and I switched out, but I shouldn't have done that. I was afraid of Will-O-Wisp, but I had Lumberry for it, so I don't know why I did that. And then you were able to like hit Heatran with like a Hidden Power Ground or something, which was a really good read. So Yeah.
Oh, there was one moment, I think I asked you before, but I forgot, where you were versus Klefki, and you were earthquaking a lot, despite the fact that I had a magnet rise up.
Yeah, I think I was trying to hit a switch into Arcanine or something. I don't remember. But that was not the play.
Yeah, Klefki I was so scared of Mamoswine. I think I packed Air Balloon and Magnet Rise.
Yeah, that's kind of a recurring theme. Air Balloon becomes important.
Yeah. For both of us.
Yeah.
Alright, so your next match was versus Ember's team, Rio Grande Rapidash. And the Pokemon that I had mentioned earlier that does surprisingly well versus your team is actually Lantern. Lantern is definitely a sleeper pick. It's a pretty good tier 5, and it was able to take on your team pretty well, I think.
Yeah, definitely.
So what was your plan going into this one? Because this one you mentioned was the matchup you probably were most scared of. So what were you planning on doing in this battle?
I don't know. I was definitely really, really scared of Milotic, so I had like Vex Magneton and Energy Ball on Mega Gardevoir to try and break it. I had Energy Ball on a lot, I think. So, yeah. I had Araquanid because of how bulky it was, and it was also like a failsafe in case he brought Trick Room, which he did. So, the moment I saw Dusclops and X-Bob there, I'm like, yeah, he's gonna go for Trick Room. So yeah, it did well. It was actually able to like take a Vex X-Bob Boom Burst, which is crazy. Araquanid is really bulky.
Yeah. I was surprised when it lived that.
Yeah. Araquanid is really good. It's one of like my bulkiest Pokemon, so yeah. But I think after like Magneton went down, I couldn't really break through Milotic, and I just kind of lost after that. Mamoswine wasn't much help. I think he had like a Yacht Berry on Breloom.
Yeah,
so
he did.
Discharge, so that was surprising. It was a really good play by him.
Yeah, I think it was like a defensive Breloom with a Yache Berry to take an ice attack, and then a Drain Punch to recover the damage dealt, which was really smart. I actually took from that later, but I don't think it ever... Yeah, I don't think you triggered my Yache Berry, but we'll get to that. He also predicted your Energy Ball by switching into Breloom when Miss Magius was out. And...
that was unfortunate. I had like the +2 Z move on deck, and then it hit, and then he switched out into Breloom, which kind of sucked for me because I really, really wanted to kill Milotic.
Yeah, he definitely preserved Milotic, and then at the end it was just really hard to break through with Araquanid and Crobat. So this was definitely, I'd say, a tough matchup. Especially with Lantern, I think it had Hidden Power Ground for Magneton. I'm not sure if it did.
It might have. I don't know.
Maybe Scald. I'm not sure, but Lantern was really valuable. I just remember that because I really like Lantern. So, So, anyways, this is that was versus Rio Grande Rapidash, and after that, you ended up making the transaction from Miss Magius to Heatran. Was it because, like, when Breloom came in to take the Bloom Doom, you were like, okay, screw this?
Yeah, that was part of it. Miss Magius also just isn't very strong without a nasty Blot boost.
Yeah.
But it is very strong, so... Especially with, like, the Steel one and the, like, Magma Storm. Like, boosted Magma Storm is really good. It can even use like Z Solar Beam to take out water types, so I used that a couple of times, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, I think overall this was a good one for you because it was actually able to take down some Pokemon with its C moves. I don't think Miss Magius did.
Yeah.
So overall, this was a good exchange. Your next battle was versus Benji's team, the Star Conquerors, and this one was interesting because you had run Rain in the previous season, and now Benji kind of took up that mantle. What was your plan in going versus his newly upgraded? Because I think this was soon after he did his exchanges. His newly upgraded Rain team.
Yeah, so I think I led Magneton, and then I read a switch into Swampert because he led Pelipper. I read a switch into Swampert with Magnet Rise, so that was good. But after that, I don't know what happened. I think Buzzwole came in, and I expected the Blade to take a hit, but it didn't. It did like over half to the Blade because Buzzwole is really strong. I didn't know. I just didn't. I don't know. I should have switched to Crobat there. I didn't. So whatever. And then I couldn't really break through Vaporeon either. Shuckle like used Power Trick on Crobat or something.
Yeah.
That didn't help things at all. So yeah, this was probably like one of my weakest matches. But good on Benji for. He definitely improved a lot from last season in using Rain. When I used Rain, I lost to Rain when I was the Rain Master. So
it was definitely interesting to see because he definitely improved. I think that Electrode also helped him a lot in this one because
Electrode was really good. It had HP Ground for Magneton, which definitely caught me off guard.
Yeah, and once Magneton went down, it was a lot harder to deal with Vaporeon for you, I think.
Yeah.
In general, I don't think anything was able to really take it out aside from Magneton. So I guess like bulky waters were problematic for your team once Magneton went down.
I should have had like Specs Hydreigon, but I didn't use that. I must have had like Scarf or something. But I should have used Specs, because that could probably break through Vaporeon.
Yeah, so with Vaporeon and just like a lot of the interesting stuff he pulled, he managed to win this one. And we move on to your next exchange, which was trading away Claydol, who never showed up. And you got Meowstic Male.
So yeah, I've ranted about Claydol before. It's not good. It didn't fit my team very well, and its typing is abysmal, offensively and defensively. So Meowstic Male, because Male has Prankster, and that's really the only thing you use it for. It could use like speed control with Prankster Thunder Wave, and also set up screens, and also use Yawn. I think it's like one of the only Pokemon that can use Prankster Yawn. So that was really good for my team occasionally. I didn't use it in the regular season, but it comes in later at playoffs where it did well.
Yeah, I think this was a really smart trade for you because your team hits hard, but it doesn't have the speed it needs to sweep. So what you managed to do with Araquanid, you could set up sticky webs with this team, and now with Meowstic, when you don't have sticky webs, you could set up screens, or you could set opportunities for a sweeper to set up with Yawn. So you had a lot of options after this for setting up one of your Pokemon. For example, we'll see later when you acquire Salamence. So I think this was a really good trade for you.
Yeah, I agree.
So next we're versus Morgana and Northern Necrozmas. And this one wasn't as bad of a loss as the last two that you just faced, but it was super close, I remember.
Yeah, it was really close. This was probably like my favorite match of the regular season, because I still lost, but it was like a close loss, so that made it less bad in my eyes. So yeah, this was like the week he made an exchange for Conkelder.
Oh yeah.
Good for my team because I already mentioned how weak my team is like to fighting types.
Yeah.
Conk is really, really bulky, and it has lots of coverage moves. Icky. So, yeah, that was something to look out for. I didn't bring Hydreigon because of like Mach Punch on Conkelder, but yeah, so I think what happened was like I tried to set up sticky webs with Araquanid, but I couldn't, or I think they got defogged away by Mantine.
Yeah, Mantine removed them.
Yeah. Oh yeah, one more. Yeah, Zero Aura does really well versus my team. It's so fast, and electric and fighting coverage completely destroys my team. So that was not great. I had Scarf Mamoswine to deal with it, and I kept hoping that he didn't realize that I was Scarf, but he did. So that was sad. I caught on eventually, but it was kind of too late after that because he kept switching into Mantine.
Yeah, to take those earthquakes. Crobat did pretty well in this one. I think it was the last Pokemon standing too versus Zera.
Yeah.
So
Crobat
overall,
is late game cleaner because of its speed, and it's not that strong, but when everything is weakened, it's really good.
Yeah. Overall, I think Crobat was a good Pokemon for you in the league in general. Was this...
Yeah.
In this league, was it Tier 3 or Tier 2? I forgot. I think we moved it to Tier 2 in this league, right?
It was Tier 3 this league? Yeah, we moved it up after, I think.
Yeah, I don't know how it was in Tier 3. It's way too good for Tier 3.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember also you mentioning in chat, like, oh god, he picked up Conk, why? And, yeah. But overall, I think you did well for the matchup, and it was a really close one. So after this one, you exchanged Hydreigon for Salamence, and this is kind of like your signature, because you exchange your logo Pokemon when like shit gets real.
Yeah.
So why Salamence and why trade away Hydreigon?
So I was tired of losing to fighting types. So Salamence does well because it has like Z-Fly and Intimidate and a resistance to flying, which is all good for my team. Salamence is also like a setup sweeper, whereas most of my team is like just wall breakers that hit hard, no setup necessary. So that's like a good dynamic to have. It's also a physical attacker instead of a special attacker, because a lot of the most like common Pokemon that I bring were special attackers. But well, Salamence special attack isn't even that bad. It can run like Mix, or even like Specs. So
yeah, you've used Fire Blast and Hydro Pump, for example. Well, later on, I think especially considering you had Araquanid and Meowstic, this was like one of the missing puzzle pieces on your team. Because you had Pokemon that aided in setup, but you didn't have a lot of setup. So this allowed you to get that setup Pokemon that could really benefit from Screens, Yawn, and Sticky Web.
yeah, this was like my best exchange, I think.
Yeah, I agree. Close was Meowstic, because not even because Meowstic is super good, which I think it was good for your team, but just because Claydol was so bad.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we move on to the final two matches now with Salamence in your pocket, and the next one is versus Visionary Tricksters, and this one was interesting because you had a clean lead, and then Mega Beedrill was looking really scary at the end, but you managed to beat it before it ran away with some of its strong attacking moves. So what did you plan on doing in this battle?
Yeah, so I wasn't I was expecting like the defensive stuff with like Clefable and Tangrowth and Toxapex, but he didn't bring any of those, so that was, I guess, good for me. So yeah, I was able to take care of Cloyster with the Blade, which was pretty good for me, because then Salamence was able to set up a substitute. But then Smeargle used Whirlwind and then phased me out.
Yeah, I remember that.
I almost lost because of that. Because if I got the sub up, I probably would have won. So, and if I got like a DD off, I probably would have won.
Well, so you did win, but you would probably have won by more.
Closer, I guess. I don't mean to put down King Fuse. He still played really well.
The Smeargle Whirlwind, that was hilarious. I'm not gonna lie, that was pretty funny. I was like, this guy, King Fuse, just brought the wackiest sets to so many matches.
Yeah, and I thought I was covered too, because I couldn't be spored. None of those shenanigans. Just like I could break Sash, I think. So. You know, I was good, but no, it had to use Whirlwind.
But regardless, you did manage to clinch it, especially with Mamo and Ice Shard. I think did like 86 to Mega Beedrill. Crazy stuff.
Beedrill is not. It's very frail.
Yeah.
Flygon is super weak to it, so yeah.
Yeah, that was an interesting battle for sure. I liked watching that one. And then your final battle was versus Waterfront Woods, Sir Roland's team. And I think you actually faced Sir Roland like right after or right before in Orberd Gate Draft League as well. So it was kind of funny how that worked.
The same week.
Yeah. This one also had some shenanigans in it. I think my highlight of this one, my favorite moment, was like when Lapras blocked Mega Gardevoir, and I was assuming it was going to go for a Perish Song, but then you encored the block.
Yep, that was totally intentional by me. I expected that. Yeah, Victini was kind of looking scary at the end, but I think he was like Scarf Final Gambit. So.
Yeah.
Final Gambit. And then Mamo was able to take down the rest of the team.
Yeah, I wonder what would have happened if Victini went for something else, but I don't think it really has anything that could take out Salamence. Does it get any dragon moves? I don't know.
I think I was like a bulkier set with Intimidate, so I could like take a V-Create.
Yeah. Yeah, so I guess Final Gambit was pretty much the only way to take down Salamence for him, so it made sense. But then, yeah, Mamo was able to take out Torterra. But this was a really interesting match. I think both of you tried some new stuff. The Encore was really... I did not expect that at all.
That was something.
Why did you put Encore on Gardevoir? Because usually I think you'd have like Hyper Voice, Psyshock, Thunderbolt, and then maybe Shadow Ball or something, or Energy Ball. But why did you put Encore?
I don't know. It gets a lot of really weird support moves. Like it gets a lot of support moves, like Destiny Bond,
yeah.
Will. It's got a very good move pool, so I just wanted to show that off.
For some reason, the Routes line is in the amorphous egg group instead of the human shape egg group, and so Gardevoir breeds with like Gengar and Muck and all these Pokemon that it gets all these moves from, like Grudge and Destiny Bond and Will-O-Wisp. It's really interesting. It does have a really interesting moveset, so you definitely showcased that in this battle. And you won by just enough that you had the competition to get into playoffs. And I remember at this point in the league, you and Lion Hugs were both like, oh, am I in playoffs, or are we going to have to fight to get in? And unfortunately, I didn't include the tiebreaker. I thought I did, but I guess I missed it. But your tiebreaker was versus Lion Hugs. And in that one, you were pretty much able to showcase just how strong Salamence is.
Yeah, and also shoutouts to Araquanid in Rain, doing like 50% to Amoonguss. That was for me. Like,
that was crazy.
Kingdra, so it really worked out for me.
Yeah, that was a pretty clean battle for you. Were you expecting, what was your thought going into the tiebreaker? Because it must be really intense going into a tiebreaker match just to get into playoffs. I don't know. What was your thought process?
Well, I mean, I thought I was gonna lose, honestly, but I didn't. But it was really scary. Lots of scary Pokemon like Kingdra, Mega Sableye, Volcarona. I think I brought Samurott just so I could check Archeops and Volcarona with Aqua Jet. I just brought it to spam Aqua Jet, so.
Well, you ended up winning by a big margin and getting into playoffs, and so we'll talk about your playoffs run, your legendary playoffs run, after we take a look at the Pokemon. So this is your KD differential and usage for the Pokemon in the regular season, and you were one of the few people who brought Mamoswine to all 10 games of the regular, who brought a Pokemon, yours being Mamoswine, to all 10 games of the regular season, and Mamo did you really well with that nice 14-6 plus 8. Overall, which Pokemon did you like using the most, and which Pokemon did you dislike using the most?
Well, I definitely liked using Mamoswine. That was fun. Araquanid is also a pretty fun mon to use. Its liquidations are surprisingly strong, and it catches a lot of people off guard. Crobat was fun. Heatran, I didn't like using at first, but I liked using it, especially after I gave it the Z-move thing. The Pokemon I didn't like using is, I'm like Miss Magius mainly. It's just not strong without a boost, and it's too frail to take a hit. Like, it can kind of switch in for my team, but not really. So, yeah. Also, I feel like I kind of undersold Pangoro here. Like, I only brought it versus Edgar. It did good there, but I didn't bring it to anything else. Not sure why. I probably should have.
I think it's because you had Dark type already in Hydreigon, and you brought it a lot more often.
Yeah, that's true.
But it did help you when you brought it, so. Was there a Pokemon that you thought wouldn't do as well as it did, and then turned out it did really well?
Yeah, that would probably be Araquanid, yeah. I did not account for Water Bubble when I drafted it, so, yeah.
That must have been a nice little surprise.
Yeah. But, yeah, I think ultimately, but the most Pokemon, the Pokemon I was most disappointed with was Hydreigon. It's again, my favorite pseudo-legendary. I really, really like its design, but I just couldn't use it correctly. Like, maybe on a more balanced team it could do well, but not here.
Yeah, it had to perform poorly because it was smoking all the time. That's what it was.
Yeah.
Well, overall, I think you did pretty well, and you definitely showed the full capabilities of your team. I think after the exchanges when you went into playoffs. So we're going to take a look at your playoffs run now. And so we start with winners quarterfinals, and that was versus my team. And we had already fought before. So how did you... Well, and both of our teams actually changed. So how did you approach this battle now that both of our teams have changed and we have fought before?
So you got Sand with Excadrill and Gigalith, so that's not good for my team. My team is bad versus Excadrill, so that's kind of why I brought Meowstic. It could set up Reflect in its face and like yawn it, so it couldn't completely maul my team. Yeah. Also, this is the appearance of the bane of my existence, Togedemaru.
Oh, Togedemaru. Yeah, Togedemaru did pretty well in this match, but we'll see later it did better in the other matches. Yeah, this one, I think this was your first time facing my Sand Core. And yeah, it was definitely tough for your team to face just because it hits your team really hard. And so for this one, Excadrill and Gigalith together and Togedemaru ended up doing a number. In the second match, did you make any changes considering the match that you had just fought?
Well, I changed Mega Gardevoir for Magneton, so I think that just did better against your team overall than Mega Gardevoir. Like trapping Klefki was pretty good because that was kind of a nuisance last battle. So yeah, you didn't bring Excadrill, but you brought Torkoal and Shiftry. Yeah, and Heatran did really well in Sun.
Yeah.
What happened?
That was really scary. I was like panic switching, and I was like, oh god, this thing is just mauling me. And yeah, after it had weakened everything, I think I went for like my final gambit with Shiftry, trying to like sweep, but Mamo was still alive, so it was able to Ice Shard, and Crobat was still alive, so I couldn't really do much. And yeah, you played this one really well with Heatran, and yeah, I think overall Sand was definitely better versus your team than Sun.
Yeah.
So the final battle of the set, did you make any changes to your team for this one, and what were you expecting and how did it go?
I changed Salamence out for Pangoro. I don't know why I did this, honestly. I think I was just sad about not using Pangoro. I also must have realized that my team kept getting spooked by Gigalith, and I wanted something to do well against that, which is, I think, why I actually brought Pangoro. So, I probably shouldn't have swapped out Salamence for it, though. Because it just died turn 1, which was very sad.
I think I know why you swapped out Salamence. I think we talked about it, actually, after the set. Gigalith ended up exploding on Salamence, I think twice?
Yeah, it did, that's right. I was trying to use it as, like, Intimidate fodder anyways, so it wasn't a super big deal, but yeah.
So yeah, actually, you were in control of the match in the middle with Mamo, you were like demolishing me, and there was nothing I could really do about it. I think because Excadrill was weakened to the point where Ice Shard would have killed. And because Magneton, actually, you didn't switch Magneton out, which I was trying to go for a read on Crobat, and you actually stayed in, which was really surprising to me because I thought you weren't going to. So I was like, oh, obviously Magneton's not going to stay out, and then you did. So that was pretty smart of you, because then you got me down low enough that Mamo threatened me and I couldn't Iron Head it.
Yeah, I think my thought process was just to sack Magneton anyways, like, I don't know. But it worked out because I was able to do some big chip on Excadrill.
Yeah.
So,
and then Togedemaru.
I lost to Fear Togedemaru.
Yeah, I'm really sorry about that. Like, I felt so scummy, to be honest, after. I was like, did I just use the most disgusting... Like, I was like, I just used Bright Powder Togedemaru versus Quasimodo, and I guess I was thinking, how could I get even scummier than Bright Powder? Yeah, Togedemaru, that was I think that was, like, your team's kryptonite or something, because, like, in all three... Was it 3 matches? No, in all 2 matches... No, 3 matches that I brought it versus your team, it didn't die.
Yeah. It was also, like, one of the last Mons standing, I think, in each battle.
Yeah, actually, in each battle, it was the last Pokemon, I think. And it was just, like, standing over the wreckage like a little rat. It's like... I don't know why Togedemaru did so well, but it was definitely...
I didn't bring a ghost type, which probably would have helped, but yeah. I thought I could, like, outlast it with Crobat, but then you use Spiky Shield, so that was unfortunate.
Yeah, because he had the Black Sledge. Actually, now you know, though, because with Fear Togedemaru, it doesn't have any priority outside of Fake Out. So if you have leftovers or Black Sledge, you're actually completely fine. Togedemaru can't hurt you unless, or at least hurt you and go first, unless you use a move and it uses Spiky Shield. So I was like banking on you trying to Brave Bird, but if you roosted, I think... Well, it would have been a stalemate, I think, because I would have just PP stalled, I guess, the roost, because Endeavor, I don't know, but yeah, it was a close set, I'll say that. The differential in the set was 1 out of all 3 games, the total differential, so that was pretty intense, and I think you definitely improved since the first time we faced each other.
Yeah, definitely.
So after this set, you entered Loser's Bracket, and your first match was in Loser's Round 1, and this was versus Quasimodo's team, Pitiful Punching Bags. And this first match, I don't think you probably expected what happened in this first match.
Yeah, I've got a lot to say about the whole set, really. So, first game, out of the gate, so I had Magneton, and I wanted to trap Kartana. I was Scarf, so hopefully it wasn't... So hopefully I could outspeed it, and then trap it with Magnet Pull. But instead, Alakazam comes in and then uses Trace to Trace Magnet Pull, and I can't switch out. I'm like choiced into Flash Cannon, I think. I couldn't switch out with Volt Switch. And it was setting up Calm Mind, and it also had Recover, so the whole time I was basically just hoping for a crit, which didn't happen. So, yeah, I also misplayed, I had the Blade out versus Wobbuffet, so I don't know why, I should have switched out of the Blade, because Wobbuffet had Destiny Bond out, and I was slower than it for some reason. I thought I was spec'd to outspeed it. I wasn't. But yeah, I should have switched out instead of, dying, because the blade would have definitely helped out versus Mega Alakazam.
Yeah.
And the rest of the team, really. So, yeah.
I was wondering, I was really wondering why you didn't switch it out, because I think that was your key to win. Like, no matter what, Mega Alakazam, I put regular Alakazam for some reason on the table, but it was Mega. But I was wondering, like, if you forgot that Shadow Tag didn't affect Doublade, but yeah, I think that might have cost you the match, despite the big Magnet Pull thing. Like, even a Magnet Pull Alakazam, I think Doublade would have been able to take it on with Shadow Sneak. I'm not sure, though.
Honestly, Quasi must have expected. He must have knew about this, because nobody... Like, Alakazam usually doesn't run Calm Mind. Like, Recover maybe, but not Calm Mind, so... Yeah.
Yeah, that was, like, giganto brain on his part. I was out, like, the whole time I was watching the battle, I was like, when's the crit gonna happen? And then it never happened, so... Yeah. I think also he led with Moltres, and then right off the bat, Hurricaned Araquanid, which was pretty intense.
Yeah. I thought I had Focus Sash, but no. No, I didn't.
So after this match, what changes did you make to your team? Well, first of all, there was the obvious change with Magneton.
I did make an ability change. So yeah, I had Sturdy on Magneton now, which was very good for this match. So I don't think I made any other like big changes. Probably because I thought I was gonna lose. So yeah. So this match went better. I think he led Komodo and had Dragon Dance and the Clangorous Soul Blaze thing, so it was like totally boosted up and ready to kill me. But I did get like a defense drop with Liquidation, so that was really good, and I think it let Mamoswine kill with Ice Shard. And yeah, then there was some shenanigans with like Wobbuffet encoring the substitute, and then the Z move going through the substitute. So I saw like the thing on Showdown. I thought I could like avoid an encore by setting up a substitute, but it just encored the substitute. And then I saw like the Z power like button on Showdown, and I'm like, yeah, okay, something's dying. So yeah.
Yeah, that was the first time I learned about that Z moves like overrode Encore.
Yeah. So then Barbarical was able to set up like Shell Smashes, 2 Shell Smashes in fact. So I also made a very, very big misplay here. I forgot Barbarical had Earthquake, and I thought I could live a Liquidation. Well, I did live a Liquidation from Barbarical, but it had Earthquake instead, so I lost. I also had Shadow Sneak, but I was greedy and went for a Swords Dance, which wasn't even a good play anyways, because Greninja was still alive. So I don't know what I was thinking there, but thankfully I was able to clutch it out with like Choice Scarf, Sturdy, Magneton, and Mega Gardevoir. So I also nearly lost. I think I won because of a damage roll on Komodo. So yeah.
That was the biggest like reversal ever. The fact that Magneton cost you the game first match and then clutched it out the second match. Like Magneton went from negative 100 to 100. That change to Sturdy was really important for you.
Yeah, I don't know what I would have done if I had. Well, I would have lost if I had Magnet Pull. So, thankfully, I made the right decision.
Yeah. So the set's now at 1-1, and you're going into a game 3, and this one you won a little bit more comfortably. Did you make any changes? I think, did you have Scarf Salamence before?
I didn't have Scarf Salamence before. I was like substitute Dragon Dance before.
Oh,
but
right.
But I wanted Scarf Salamence for this match just for like insurance, I guess. Last match was too close for me, you know?
Yeah.
So some insurance. I think I also changed out Magneton for Heatran, which I think worked out. It also could kind of come in on Moltres, so that's why I brought it, I think. And yeah, the Blade actually did well. Wobbuffet had a Custat Berry, but because of Shadow Sneak, I was able to like out-prioritize it, so that was good for me. And then I was able to clean up with Scarf Mence. I don't think he knew I was Scarfed because Kartana was also Scarfed.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
The Scarf Mence was a really good play, though, because that's what you needed to clean up at the end, and that's what happened, so that was a pretty good performance. That was your strongest match of the 3, for sure.
Yeah.
So after that absolutely crazy set that you won 2-1, you moved on to losers quarterfinals, and in here you faced Noob Scrub again, which was a team that you lost to in the regular season. But you did win both of your matches. So in the first one, Mamoswine was really important for you. What were you planning on doing this time versus the first time you faced Noob Scrub?
I think I was just gonna spam Icicle Crash, honestly. He doesn't have a very good ice resist at all. So, like, his only ice resist is Chandelure, and that doesn't want to take an earthquake. So, that was my plan. I was able to take down Blissey this time with Superpower, I think. I was also able to get, like, a better hold on Stoutland than I did the last match, I think. So yeah, I forget how. I think Celesteela also died to some Icicle Crash flinches, so that was good.
Yeah, there's definitely some flinches from those Icicle Crashes going on in this set.
Yeah,
which probably
also,
brought war flashbacks to Noob Scrub.
I also used the grass Z move on Hippowdon.
Oh
so
yeah,
for me. Because Hippowdon was kind of a menace.
Yeah, that really worked out in your favor, and I don't think he expected it, so it managed to one-hit Hippowdon, which was really good for you. He was pretty much forced to run Stoutland after Hippowdon went down, because that was the last Sandstorm he was going to have up. And once you got Stoutland down, I think that you were pretty much good to go.
Yeah.
I forget. I think Crobat took on Stoutland.
Yeah, Crobat was bulky enough so I lived like an Ice Fang. So, yeah.
Yeah, that was pretty good. Yeah, and then Mamoswine just kind of did the rest. In the next battle, did you make any changes, or did you go with the same game plan?
I switched out Miss Magius for Deblade. Deblade can better take on Stoutland, and also gets like free switch-ins on Blissey unless it has Flamethrower. So, yeah, I also had Wish Salamence so I could keep Deblade healthy throughout the game. So that was like my thought process. It didn't do well because Foul Play killed me. So that was unfortunate, but I was still able to run it back with Mamoswine and Mega Gardevoir. Mega Gardevoir especially was pretty good. Like, I think I like read a switch into Mandibuzz with Hyper Voice at one point. So, yeah, and then I was able to like kill Blissey and Mega Venusaur, I think.
I think it
So-
also did big damage to Celesteela with Thunderbolt too.
Oh yeah, I also like read a switch with Thunderbolt and parried it or paralyzed it.
Yeah.
So that was helpful.
I think Crobat was also helpful in the set overall because it had taunt, so it was generally good at pressuring him to not use any status moves.
Yeah.
So overall, this was a pretty good win for you. This set, I think this was the most comfortable one set that you had. And after this, you were probably feeling pretty good since...
Yeah, I wish more teams ran stall because this team does really well against stall. So, yeah.
Well, just wait till next season, because...
Hey, I'm not, like... I think I'm gonna go, like... I'm definitely going way stallier than this season.
Yeah. I think almost everybody is... The only one who can't go possibly stallier, of course, is Morgana, because he just reached peak stall, so,
Of course.
So, speaking of Morgana, actually, the next set was versus him. So in this first battle, what was your plan overall, and how did it go?
So this time I brought Meowstic because, of the massive threat Zero Aura was, and I just wanted to shut that down. I realized how good it was versus my team. I think I was able to take care of Garchomp with Gardevoir and but then Necrozma killed me. I couldn't really break through Necrozma at all because of how bulky it is and because of the what's it called, Prism Armor, I think. So yeah, I don't think I was able to get Sticky Webs up, and if I did, Mantine defogged it before the end of the match. So I had he had bulk up Shuka Berry Zero Aura, so it was able to live the Earthquake from Salamence, which didn't help me. So yeah, I couldn't really take down Zero Aura after that.
Yeah, that was a really creative move on his part. I wouldn't have expected that, honestly. But yeah, Zero Aura seemed to be the hardest Pokemon for you to face in this one. And you actually didn't bring Mamo, which was surprising to me in this first round. In match number 2, did you make any changes?
I swapped out Crobat for Heatran because I didn't think he was gonna bring Garchomp again, which he didn't. But Primarina also does well versus Heatran, and Heatran does well versus Gengar and Conkeldurr, barring Mach Punch. So yeah. I also had Chopo Berry on it, so I could take close combat from Zero Aura. So yeah, in this match I think Morgana went for Trick Room, which kind of backfired in his face because of how slow Arachnid is. And then I was able to kill Conkeldurr, which was very good. I was able to set up webs too, but this time the Blade was able to kill Zero Aura. And once Mantine came in, I was able to take advantage of how passive it is and set up Substitute with Salamence and set up all over Mantine. So yeah, that won me the game.
Yeah, Salamence was really good in this one, and I think he took that into account in the third one, because Mantine went from being super passive. He actually built it to take on Salamence. We'll actually go to that one now. In this one, Salamence was also really useful. Did you change anything in your team to face him the third time?
So I was kind of inspired by the Trick Room set, so I was packing Trick Room on my own Meowstic now because of how good Arachnid and the Blade are in Trick Room. So I think that was like the only big change I made.
But you never ended up using Trick Room, I think.
Yeah, probably not. At least not effectively. So yeah, I was still able to set up with Salamence, but now Mantine had like Haze, which made it more difficult. But thanks to Meowstic's Yawn, I was able to get in safely and set up.
Yeah, Mantine not only had Haze, but it had Ice Beam too.
Oh, okay.
I don't think it used it in the battle, but he told me, or maybe it did. I don't know, but I don't think it did, because then Salamence wouldn't have been alive. But yeah, Meowstic really was useful for you in this match, because Yawn basically was devastating for him. He had to switch or just accept the fact that one of his Pokemon was going to sleep, and Mantine was a really important Pokemon for him, and losing it meant that Salamence was able to sweep again. So that really went to show how good Meowstic and Salamence could be together. And you ended up winning this match as well. So you won the set, and that was also pretty good for you, because I believe, if I remember correctly, you lost versus Morgana in the regular season.
Yeah.
So this was the second person that you faced that you lost to before, and now you won against. And then you finally make it to Losers Finals. This is versus Edgar's team, Moondrinkers, which you had previously faced. And this set was pretty close. Both of your teams had changed since you faced each other in the regular season, so was there a new approach you took to facing him?
I had Scarf Magneton to deal with Braviary. It was like the big thing that I wanted to use, because Braviary was a big problem last match, and I didn't really want to rely on the Blade. So yeah. Pangoro was back, dodging Will-O-Wisps left and right.
Yeah.
You know. Like, I had Lumberry, but which is why I kept setting up on it, but missing the Will-O-Wisp still sucked.
Oh, so you had it from the start. I thought you put Lumberry on in the second match because of the Will-O-Wisp, but you had it in the first one too. We just never saw it because of the two Willow misses. Yeah, it was pretty back and forth until Pangoro came out against Coffegregious with a Lumberry. It pretty much has not a care in the world versus Coffegregious, and so it did really well and ended up clearing the way, I think, before the Blade ended up winning the match.
Yeah.
I don't know if it was in this one, but Mienshao used like knockoff, and it did like 29 to double it, and I was like, holy shit.
Yeah, I was spec'd to not get 2-hit KO'd by Jolly Garchomp Earthquake, so I had a good bit of defense.
Oh, okay. That makes sense. Yeah, that was surprising to me. So this first one was a really close win. Second one was pretty close too, still, but a little bit less close than last time. I think in this one, oh yeah, and in the first one you used Araquanid really well too. He basically had to use Final Gambit on Excelgor because otherwise he couldn't take it down.
I thought that was this match.
Yeah, in this match you didn't bring Araquanid.
Wait. Oh, are we still talking about the first match? I'm sorry.
Yeah, sorry. I wanted to add something really quick about the first match, but now we're on the second match. So in this second match, did you change anything?
Yeah, I don't think the graphic shows it, but I swapped out Mega Gardevoir for Araquanid.
Oh, so then it was this match. Oh, I'm sorry. I guess I forgot to put it in this match. My bad.
So yeah, I had Choice Band Araquanid, which killed Braviary. So yeah, the thing was I wanted to bait Braviary in with Araquanid, because, you know, it could set up Sticky Web, but Braviary could defog it. So, and that's what happened. I was able to kill Braviary, which was really good. Braviary does really well versus my team still. So, yeah. I think Excelgor like final gambited it.
Yeah.
Which said, yeah. Yeah, Deboy did really well, still able to take on Mienshao. I think I like barely lived a Hydro Pump from Golduck and killed it.
Yeah, if Golduck Hydro Pump would have killed it, I think Edgar might have been able to win the match since it was Swift Swim.
Yeah.
But Doublade is pretty bulky, so it was able to live it and take out Golduck. And once that happened, the match was looking pretty in your favor, and you ended up winning.
Yeah. Pangoro pulled another late game clean because of the Lumberry.
Yeah, you were really able to take advantage of Cough Egregious and its passivity and its ability to pretty much not take on Pangoro outside of Wisp, so that was pretty smart for you. Again, like, you didn't use Pangoro that much, but when you did, it did really well. So you won this set 2-0, and that concluded your amazing losers run because you moved into grand finals versus my team yet again. We faced each other so much this league. And so the first match, what was your plan?
So yeah, my big thing this match, I had special Salamence with like Hydro Pump and Fire Blast because I knew you were looking out for Earthquake. So yeah, that was my thing. I also brought Substitute Magneton to set up all over Klefki. So, and that almost, well, it did work, but I could have won if I didn't let it die because Excadrill was taking Life Orb recoil. And yeah, so basically what happened was that Magneton was able to HP Fire Excadrill and take it down to low health, but then I should have sacked something else. So, and then like defogged with Crobat, and then I could have taken on Togedemaru.
Yeah.
Yeah. I also had Choice Band Pangoro to take out Gigalith and Latias, and it did pretty well there. So yeah, Araquanid also did kind of well versus Excadrill. It resisted both of its stabs, so that was my thought process there.
The Magneton Magnet Pull was really smart. I was so close. I was like, I should put Hidden Power Ground on Klefki, and I was like, you know what? He's not going to bring Magneton. I have Excadrill. I have Fire types. Like, why would he bring Magneton? And then you did, and it was really good. So, I kind of regret not putting Hidden Power Ground on Klefki, because if I did, that definitely wouldn't have been bad for me to be trapped, because I could have just kept HP grounding Magneton. But yeah, that was a really close match. I was panicking, but Togedemaru, I guess your mortal enemy.
Yeah.
Togedemaru ended up clinching this one for me. So funny thing, I don't know if I told you this, but I actually put roleplay on Togedemaru.
To take Flash Fire from Heatran.
Yeah.
You told me.
And I had 2 balloons, which is a running thing with our matchup. We both utilize balloons. Me more so, but you ended up using one next match, actually.
Yeah.
So, in this next match, what changes did you make, and what was your game plan?
So I must have realized you were going for some Sun, because you know, you kind of tend to switch up the archetypes every time. So I brought in Heatran and the Blade instead of Magneton and not Crobat, Pangoro. So yeah, Heatran did pretty well. It was on a balloon. I thought that I had it at the very end, but then Venusaur popped its balloon because I forgot chlorophyll was a thing. So yeah, oops. But it was still really close. Excadrill was pretty much dead. Like, it had like a sliver of health left at the end.
Yeah, and Life Orb Recoil, so...
Yeah, I think... Yeah, you had Balloon on Arcanine, which did not help. Like, if you didn't have Balloon on Arcanine, it would have made things a lot easier for me, so...
Yeah. Arcanine I knew I had to keep alive because it was my answer to Heatran, and I knew in my heart, you didn't reveal it for a long time, but I knew in my heart, I was like, Heatran's holding a balloon, I know it.
Yeah.
Because Balloon Heatran does so well versus my team. But it was really close. It was a really enjoyable match. Both of our matches were, actually. And you were making some predictions at the end, too, with Doublade and Heatran, because Arcanine close combat can't hit Doublade, and then Flash Fire means that Flare Blitz can't hit Heatran, and so I had to go for the Wild Charge just to see if I could pop the balloon or get a bit of damage on Doublade without triggering Flash Fire. And you also read my switch into Arcanine with Flash Cannon, which was really smart when I had Excadrill out. So
yeah, I had to go for that because I don't think Excadrill could actually hurt me.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, that was really smart. It was well played. It was a really good set, and so that was the final battle of the league. And you ended up losing, but it was so close. It was only by a differential of 2 for the set. And with that, you ended up getting second place overall, which was really good because in the last league, you ended up getting 4th place. So you ended up increasing your ranking and also beating a lot of people that you had lost to in the regular season and also previously. So overall, I'd say it was a really good performance by you.
Yeah, would it shock you to say that I did not like this team very much? I like all the individual Pokemon, but as a team, it's so hard to switch into everything. I guess that's kind of the nature of hyper offense.
Yeah.
Still.
It doesn't shock me that much. I think you actually had mentioned it earlier in the league, just in passing, but not really going into it. And I remember seeing your team at first, actually, and thinking, this is kind of an awkward team. It's a good team, but it's kind of awkward. Just because, yeah, like you mentioned, it can be hard to switch into some things. I think Doublade really saves you in that department. And Araquanid. But, yeah, that's the nature of hyper offense, so I think a lot of people had that same thought, myself included, actually. I actually didn't really like using my team that much. I warmed up to it at the end with Togedemaru and Excadrill and stuff, but yeah, hyper offense is hard. I like balance instead.
Yeah, I'm definitely going for balance next season.
Yeah. But you did really well for the Pokemon you had, and I think your understanding of the team grew as you used it as well. So definitely a good experiment. I think this was a good experience and experiment for a lot of people using hyper offense. Sometimes you need to use something that you aren't familiar with to know that you don't like it, so that you know what you like better, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I totally agree.
So yeah, I guess that's probably one of the lessons learned. Was there anything else that you realized in the league, any lessons learned?
Claydol is bad. Don't use Claydol.
Yeah. Rip Claydol. If only it got Recover in better typing, but yeah. Were there any like favorite moments in the league, or any final thoughts you had?
Me realizing that Togedemaru was level 1 was a shocker. One of my favorite moments in the league.
Did you realize it mid-battle? Because I remember you were like, oh. When I sent out Togedemaru, you're like, oh. And I'm like,
I realized it mid-battle, yeah, when you sent it out. I didn't realize in team preview. I wasn't paying attention, unfortunately.
I was like, oh, he didn't realize it. I feel bad.
Yes, I could there, so whatever.
Do you have any final thoughts before we wrap up this team analysis video?
Oh yeah, I had a good time. Definitely wasn't expecting to get as high as I did, but I'm not complaining. So yeah. I did really well. Everybody did really well, honestly. I don't mean to toot my own toot my own horn here, but I think everybody did really well. I think everybody got like at least two wins. Yeah. So that was really cool. So it was fun to see how we all like improved through the season, through one way or another, like through exchanges or just like learning how your team works. So yeah,
I totally agree with that. I think overall this season just showcased how much people had improved from season 1 and how they improved mid-league too. I think you were part of that, and it was really cool to witness, and I really enjoyed it. It was a very fun time, and it was very fun witnessing your epic losers run. I think that's definitely gonna go down in Victory Road history. So congratulations on that. You did really well.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, well, that concludes the Detroit Deinos team analysis. And we only have one team analysis left. There's so many team analysis. It's like an hour to an hour and a half to 2 hours for some of them. So that's like almost a day of team analysis recording.
The longest so far was Embers. But,
yeah.
You know, a lot to say. So
yeah, 2 hours, 11 minutes. Crazy. I don't even think my own one is going to beat that. And I'm going like really in depth. So we'll see. But so yeah, thank you once again for joining me and for participating and joining me in this team analysis video. This was Detroit Deinos, led by StarToad, and catch the last team analysis video coming up. I also have the most hyped matches of the regular season and of playoffs video coming up. I'm excited to do that one. And I just released the FNF Victory Road Draft League Season 2 Superlatives video, which was a fun little thing to make too. So check those out for sure. And until next time, this is Noel from Sun and Friendly, joined by StarToad of Detroit Deinos, and see you in the next team analysis video.